What is the difference between spree killers and terrorists? Vertical line Al Jazeera America. Global header background image. URL/content/jam/jcr:/content/header/image desktop.adapt.960.high.1,315,703,832.jpg at media minimum width 768 px and max width 959 px. Global header background image URL/content/jam/header/image.adapt.960.high.1,315,703,832.jpg at media max width 767 px. Global header background image URL/content/jam/mobile.adapt.753.medium.1,378,915,703,832.jpg. Display mobile navigation. Display mobile search bar. News, video, shows, schedule, more shows, sections. U.S. International economy, technology, science, environment, health, education, culture, sports. Trending. Syria's war, weather, health, technology. Search form. What is the difference between spree killers and terrorists? By Tim Creeder. September 11, 2013, 5 o'clock a.m. at Essay. Tim Creeder reflects on the war on dirtbags. Topics. Culture. Boston Marathon bombings. 9/11 terrorist attacks. Viewed comments. What exactly is the difference between spree killers and terrorists? Timothy Creeder. One winter 13 years ago, when I was living in Baltimore, that city was riveted by one of the longest armed fugitive/police standoffs in history. A man with a history of mental illness, domestic abuse and arrests, whose name I won't repeat here, went on a rampage, killing 4 people, and then took his ex-girlfriend's mother, her boyfriend and their son hostage in a house in the working-class neighborhood of Dundalk, where he holed up for 4 days before being shot to death by the police. The city was glued to local TV for those 4 days. I'd come home and ask my housemate, "What's up with our guy? Still in there?" He'd say. Ever since the Boston Marathon bombing, I've found myself thinking of that episode again, for the first time in years. I've also been thinking of Newtown, and Aurora, and Columbine, all the other innocent place names that have become the ghastly syndicate for the plague of random violence in America. I keep wondering, what exactly is the difference between spree killers and terrorists? Why are the former only good for a few days' headlines, while the latter cause us to make major changes to our laws, our national policy and our values as a people? That lunatic in Baltimore killed 1 more person than the bombers in Boston, yet that was strictly the local story, now remembered only by those who lived in and around Baltimore circa 2000, while the Boston bombing made headlines worldwide. I know that the Boston bombing mangled and maimed hundreds more than it killed, and yet if it had been a balcony collapse or a ferry crash, it would not have haunted our imaginations in the same way or endured for weeks in the media. I felt the same way everyone else did when I heard about the Boston bombing. But I still can't quite make rational sense of our reaction. Part of what scared and enraged us all about it was that it was a random attack, which made it impossible to pretend that it couldn't have happened to us. Part of it is the seemingly motiveless malice behind such a plan, the calculated perversity of the evil evident in contriving to inflict mass agony and grief at a fun, celebratory event. In some strange way it's the intention behind the crime, rather than the act itself or its casualties or effects, that make it so terrifying and offensive, therefore newsworthy and politically powerful. But the taxonomy of evil is getting messy. There is a critical difference between organized terrorist networks like Al-Qaeda and lone whack jobs, and it makes sense for the government to reshape its laws and take military measures to oppose the former, and for the latter to be treated as criminals by the civilian legal system. But what about lone whack jobs who happen to subscribe to the same general agendas as terrorist networks? Now that you can get easy recipes for building your own homemade bomb out of a crock pot from Inspired, the in-flight magazine of Al-Qaeda, the difference between a terrorist cell and couple of dirtbags with ambitions is indistinct. At this point, being a member of Al-Qaeda is sort of like being a member of Anonymous. If you claim you're in